Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. I got some apartment hunting tips for you guys today. So if that's what you're looking for, be sure to finish this video, and hopefully that'll make your living arrangement decisions a little easier once you get here. And you won't run into some of the same problems that some people did, that I did at first, and all that good stuff. But of course, I want to remind you that I have books for sale, including Living Cambodia, a guide for living in the Kingdom of Wonder. That book and 4 others are available at the link in the description. There's a page down there just for that. So be sure to check those out if you want all that information available at your fingertips. And yes, it's the Christmas season, and I understand Christmas is a pretty hectic time for most people. You know, you gotta think about what you're going to get all the kids and grandkids and parents and distant relatives, and try to do it all without losing your mind. But I'd also like to say that I appreciate all the people that support our channel this time of the year. They're few and far between. Usually October through December is you know, all the donations and everything kind of tank because there's you know, the holidays and everything, and everybody's out doing their own thing, and I understand that. But if you do want to help support the channel, we could really use your help right now. Help make up for some of those deficiencies. And you can do so at either PayPal or Ko-Fi.com, and both of those links are down below. If everybody that watches this video donated just $5, we'd be set for a while. So if you can and you want to, those links are down there, and of course we always appreciate it. And that light took a little longer than what I thought. Yeah, before I get into the apartments though, I want to let you know that the last few days I have been down and out. Almost, well, might have even been up to 5 days. I'm not, as I'm saying this right now, I'm not really sure what day it actually is. There's been a bug going around town. Kelly from Autumn in Asia, he was down for a few days. Singlai, she got sick there for a couple days. And then it was my turn. It was a head cold, that's all it was. But a really bad one, like the kind that, excuse me, I don't know about everybody else, but the kind for me, I haven't had one of those in, you know, in a long time, years and years and years. But this one kind of made my head feel like a balloon, you know. I was blowing my nose and trying to unclog that every half hour. It felt like I was like on the outside of my body looking in, and man, talk about the fever dreams. Wow. Either I got some really weird stuff going on in my subconscious, or I entered another dimension. Let's put it that way. It was pretty horrible there. And of course, when that happens, you can't do a lot. Haven't really been able to write, and haven't been able to read as much as I normally do. And so right now I've got a lot of messages and correspondence and other things to catch up on. So if in the last few days you've been trying to get a hold of me, I'll get a hold of you, don't worry. Just that I haven't gone anywhere, I haven't felt like going anywhere. I'm a late night person. I stay up till, you know, sometimes 2 or 3 in the morning. because that's usually the best time to communicate with people back in the United States that live on the East Coast, because it's a 12-hour difference. So for them, it's the, 2 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever. But man, I was going to bed like at 10 o'clock at night, not waking up till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And yet when I woke up, I still felt like I only had a couple hours sleep. I was tossing and turning and getting up pretty regularly there just to blow my nose because I couldn't breathe. Excuse me. And my throat is still a little scratchy and sore, but we'll get through this. Feeling much better today though. Feels good to get outside. Get outside, get some fresh air. And my head don't feel like it's floating above my head anymore, so that's always good. Just one of those little bugs that go around. Well, let's talk about apartments. Yeah, sorry about my fat finger getting in the way there. They're basically there's about there's 3 ways you can find an apartment when you get here. You can go to Facebook Marketplace, some of the groups on there, and forums, public places where people advertise their apartments for rent. You can also go to a service like ISP or IPS or whatever the name of that one is. Kelly uses it there. And what you do there is you let them know how much you want to spend and what you're looking for, and then they hook you up with a few apartments to look at for a certain price. And then you can either, pick the one you want or get a whole new selection that they have available, and pretty soon you'll find one that you like and all that good stuff. And then there's the third way, the way I usually do things. I like to just get out and look, because apartments here are available everywhere. A lot of the ones we find are not advertised on social media. They're not listed with any service. People have homes, they have rooms. They might put a little sign out front of their fence, but other than that, they just wait for people to kind of come find them. And there's a lot of them all over town, everywhere. But if you go with the looking for an apartment on your own, like through Facebook Marketplace or whatever, there are some things you should be aware of. It doesn't happen a lot, not even the majority of the time, but it does happen from time to time. People have they do the old bait and switch, where the pictures they show you are of a very nice, very clean, Western style type apartment. But then when you go to inquire about it, either they'll tell you, oh, we just rented that one, but we do have another one, and that one's not going to be like the pictures at all. Or when you go in to look at the apartment that they had advertised, those pictures are obviously from when it was first built, and now 5 years on, it's not quite looking the same. A little bit of false advertising there. It doesn't happen, like I said, it does not happen a lot. But there are certain people out there that just use the same pictures they had from, 5-6 years ago and never bother to update. So you do want to be careful of that. You don't have that problem with the services like ISP or IPS, however you pronounce it. Because they will, you can look at some apartments on their website, but they will take you right to those apartments and let you see for yourself firsthand the ones that fit within your budget and your and your amenities and stuff. But of course there is an extra price associated with that. You do have to pay them for that service. But looking at them on your own, I wouldn't say it's the best way, you know. But it does give you a lot more freedom and options. First, you don't have to pay extra for a service. Second, you're still able to see exactly what these people have, because you walk by a place, talk to the landlord, say, hey, do you have any apartments for rent? And they say, yeah. Do you want to see one? And you go, yeah. Then you go in and you look at it, and then you ask them how much for a month, and they give you all that detail. So there's really no right or wrong way to find an apartment here. There are so many available. You'd be hard pressed not to find one within a couple hours of looking, if you're really looking. But finding the right one, you know, the one that you want to be like you're almost like a forever home. Hello. Oh, no, thank you. And so let's talk about some of those things. First of all, lease or no lease. There are some apartments that will require a first month's rent, of course, plus a deposit, which will be equal to the first month's rent. Sometimes, well, a lot of times they won't require a deposit, but some of the more expensive ones will. Some of the newer ones. And usually when that happens, they want a lease. The lease for either 6 or 12 months. And it's up to you whether you want the lease. So let's go over the pros and cons. First of all, the pros. Everything will be set in writing on paper. Financially, the things you will be responsible for within the apartment, and the things the landlord will be responsible for fixing inside the apartment, that will all be in the contract. They won't be able to raise the rent price on you, you know, out of the blue, because you'll have that lease for a certain amount of period where it's only going to be so much money. And you'll have peace of mind knowing that that place is yours for at least that 6 months or a year, or however long the lease is. But now the cons, though, are that if you move in and all of a sudden you have an issue with one of your neighbors, or you didn't realize when you first moved in that there was a bar you failed to notice on a little side street right outside your window, and that they stay open till 4 o'clock every morning playing loud thumping music with a lot of drunk people yelling, or you realize there's a family of stray dogs that just love to bark and howl at each other all night long, nothing you can do about it because you're signed in on that lease. So that would be another tip. Before you take an apartment, go there during the day and then check it out again at night. Go back at night, because sometimes something can be very peaceful and serene during the day, but at night it might become party zone central. Or the meeting place of all the stray dogs in the area, or something like that. But now let's talk about not having a lease. On the other hand, you have freedom. If there's something you don't like about your apartment and you're month to month, at the end of the month you can just move. You're not obligated to stay. So you have more freedom in choosing where you want to live and checking out different places beforehand. But if anything breaks in your apartment, even if it's not your fault, and I've experienced this a couple times, with no contract to say who pays for what, it's going to be on you to pay for it. So when that wall fan finally breaks and falls off the wall, even though all you did was turn it on, yeah, you're going to be responsible for replacing that. Recently we had something happen on our toilet that actually required more than just a plunger, let's put it that way. Some guys came in and they tore up the whole toilet seat right off the floor, and they found a shirt. Didn't belong to me or Single Eye. It was just a shirt that had been stuffed down there or got in there somehow after we'd been living there a couple months already, and blocked up our toilet. So they took that out, you know, put the toilet seat back and made sure it was all secure and everything. But then the next month, you know, we got that surprise bill. They were making me pay the $30 to fix it, even though I didn't plug it up. I don't know how that happened, you know. So that is the downside to not having a lease, is that you'll be responsible for basically everything. So I'll leave that for you to decide. Now when it comes to different areas of town, I made a video about 3 separate areas that I think are good for expats to try out, and there are just so many. I can't talk about every single one and the pros and cons because I haven't lived in every single one, but yeah, there are so many areas. There are areas where you'll be mostly other foreigners, expats. Then there'll be some which are mainly locals, for the most part locals. And then there are those like a Watbo that are a good combination of both. You'll also have to think about what kind of amenities you want. You know, a lot of people, they focus on, I want an apartment that's only $150 a month or $200 a month. That's my budget. And that's fine. You do have to think about that. Ooh. But another thing to think about is what you can get for that. Because if you're looking for a $150 apartment that has aircon, okay. Free Wi-Fi, probably. But then you want like a pool and a jacuzzi and a washing machine and fully furnished, and you know, yeah, those are going to be harder to find because the more amenities you want, the higher the price is going to be. So think about what really matters to you when you're looking for an apartment, and you know, you're going to have to balance that with your budget, and then start looking for those possibilities. Because there's no such thing as a miracle apartment that's only going to be $50 a month with a pool and an aircon and a washing machine and a separate bedroom and a fully furnished. That's just not going to happen. Alright, so hopefully you'll take some of these tips. That'll help you find an apartment here. The one you like, the one you love, the one you want to stay in. And from Siem Reap, Cambodia, I will talk to you guys in the next one.